You know what I was like during my glory days, do you?
I was fucking around.
All right, go. Hey, look what I got. I got one of these.
What is that? Hey, no, we aquatic out here, brother.
99 bananas.
That sounds disgusting. That sounds disgusting. Welcome to a podcast formerly known as Tapped In. I'm your host, Eric, the young dark matter daddy, young aquatic, young sea life, young nasty nautical.
It burns.
Damn, G.
Dude,
My
like
bad.
Cut.
Well, cut.
You're like
Cut.
Hey, Marcus.
Marcus
Hey,
just
shout
took
out
a
to
shot.
Eric, man. Big
Marcus-
non-hiking ass nigga. He's
I don't know
potting
if I wanna go
shirtless
hiking,
today,
bro.
man.
I
I don't know what he on.
I don't know if I want to go hiking, bro. But yeah, I'm your host out here and doing nasty things, filthy filth, big filth. Young Alex, I
Ugh.
swear to God.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? You know what? Let's move on.
Yeah.
You know, as always, we got our co-host Marcus Murray, Lord Marcus, Lord Omega Marcus, Lord Omega Bizarre Marcus. What's up, Marcus? What's going on?
It's Omega, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my influencer lifestyle. You know what I'm jet setting. You know what I mean? They come to me and they ask me what kind of toilet pitcher I work.
Yeah. What?
Yes, sir. I tell them get a bidet. Wash your ass, nigga.
Hey, bidet gang.
Yeah.
Nasty,
gang.
dry toilet paper
Yo.
ass niggas out here. Nasty.
I'm gonna be real, man. I'm writing a paper, and
Okay.
the title, the working title of the paper is America's Problems Solved by Cleaning Their Assholes of Rubbish.
Disease.
Yeah,
Gone.
man.
Wash your
If
ass.
you think about it, think about how nasty all these old ass white overweight politicians are. They're walking around Capitol Hill,
Nasty.
asshole stanking. You know what I
Nasty.
mean? Toilet paper all up in that mug from 3
Disgusting.
days ago because they can't reach it.
Look, this is a bidet positive podcast. Stop wiping your
Yes.
ass with this dry ass toilet
Yes.
paper. It's gross.
It's
it doesn't
gross,
get you clean.
man.
Y'all
It's
try
not
to-
clean.
Do y'all wipe y'all counters off with dry ass towels? No.
No.
Don't you get a bidet. Up next, we got young Shotty, young Bukaki Shotty, young cocaine Shotty, young Lord of Tulane Shotty. What's up, Shotty?
Cocky Shoddy, what's good?
What's popping with you?
What's up? What's up? What's
Not a
going
damn
on in your
thing,
life,
man.
cousin? I feel it.
You know, taking L's always, you know.
As always,
dude.
young
Hey, it's not an L if you own up to
dog,
it. man.
Davon, that fucking tweet. Oh my god. When you were like, all I learned is she do pay her bills and she fuck up my Thursdays, dude. When I
Wait,
tell you
oh.
I truly
All she do is pay her
cried
bill
at that
and fuck
fucking
up
tweet.
Thursdays.
That is the funniest tweet I've seen in so long, dude. I
That
was
shit is-
literally crying.
I wanted to like that, but it also it was sad.
it was kind of sad.
And I
So
literally
funny.
didn't like it because it was sad and I felt bad. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
it's okay. You can laugh at my pain.
That's
I
what
don't
made
want
it.
to, man.
That's what made it kind of funny. But you know, let's move it on. We got young Alex Riley, young model
Ooh,
Riley, young
yes.
dreaded up Riley, young yellow
Yes.
shades Riley. What's going on, Riley?
You know me. It's Omega.
O'Reilly of O'Reilly.
It's
Oh my
Omega
God.
Riley.
Hey, watch
Omega,
your mouth,
Lord
man.
Omega Riley.
Hey, that's the pod, bro.
It's Lord
That's the
Omega
pod.
Riley.
You know what?
Oh,
Well, let's hit it.
Omega's
Young
back.
cocaine Riley, Lord of Two Rileys.
Yeah, Lord of Two Rileys, Cocaine Riley.
What's good
I'm
with
stealing
you,
everybody's
Alex?
nickname this podcast.
What's good with you, Alex?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I'm here. I'm excited to pod.
Me too.
He was gonna pod yesterday, but Eric
2
was
days
asleep.
ago.
Oh my god, dog! I literally was waiting, and then I put on Harley Quinn, and literally immediately passed out.
That's crazy because we were in the Zoom waiting on you, and then we
I
all
know.
passed
I'm
out.
very
For
upset.
like 20
about it.
minutes.
I'm upset about it, and I apologize. Hey, you know what?
Hey, I appreciate
Let me
the
address
apology.
the people. Let me address the people. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to do it. I'm not perfect. I makes mistakes. All right. We back again. You know we
Make sure
doing.
the apology is loud as the disrespect.
We We're back again, podding. I'm shirtless because I just got through with the swimming pool. Uh, you know, we was swimming in the rain as we do in
Ugh.
Omaha, Nebraska. That's a what? Don't say that's fun.
No, that's what Eric does.
Nah, we do it right out here. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my god.
Today we gonna be talking about Tyler the Creator's new album, Call Me If You Get Lost, and we also gonna be addressing the Derek Chauvin case and the verdict on that. Um, Marcus, you want to start us off?
With what part?
The album. What are
Yeah,
your
man.
thoughts, bro? Everybody, what's your
Uh,
thoughts? Marcus, what's your thoughts?
Really solid album from Tyler the Creator, man. I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm so happy that he's still around because I feel like he kind of got big off of some gimmick shit, but was kind of able to flip that initial fame and pursue multiple avenues. And I think those multiple threads that he has going out, not just music, not just fashion, not just his show, and other deals that he has with Odd Future. I think that all kind of like kept him rooted in relevancy. And I'm just happy to see Tyler back, man. I wasn't
For sure.
I was a little surprised when he started dropping singles a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
And then we got the album really quick. It seems like we're, getting back into having some big names drop some music. I think they projected him to sell or to have like 170,000 or something.
Yeah, that's what I
Something
saw.
big. He's number
Not
one
to-
right now.
Not to sidebar, but it seems like a lot of like rappers who haven't been on it as much recently has been on like rap shit. You
What
know
do you
what I
mean?
mean? Like Tyler hasn't dropped like a real like rap album.
That's
You know what I
that
mean?
Griselda effect.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think that's I
You
think
know what?
you know what
I
he
think
did say
that
something.
could be.
I don't remember who he said. He said thanks to somebody to get him back into
West Side
rapping.
Yeah,
Gun.
West Side Gun.
West Side Gun, yeah. Okay, so Griselda's
Tyler said
getting
that?
the niggas back to rapping.
Tyler
Yeah,
said that
Tyler
too.
said that on his live, right? It was on his live.
Holy shit.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know what
That's-
said it, but I saw that.
That's
I'm pretty sure he said something like "Shout out to West Side Gun" to
That's
get me back
crazy.
into rapping. Davon, what do you think of the album, bro?
I thought it was dope. I think I like every song. No skips for me. I
No
don't
skips.
right now at least.
That's high praise.
Mhm. Yeah, no skips is definitely high praise for sure. Alex, what you think, bro?
I mean, I fuck with it too, kind of like what the first two kind of touched on.
The
I was
first two
really-
what?
First two people are co-hosts.
What do you
lacking-
mean? What people?
You and Davon.
Omega.
They got
Shout out
names,
to-
right?
Anyway, shout out to Marcus and Davon. My bad, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I'm checking in humbly, like
Hey,
Eric.
okay.
Humbling. We humble.
Humbly.
But
on
no,
all
I
fours.
really enjoyed this album. I was hyped when DJ Drama was on there because obviously it was some
Oh,
nostalgic
yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Just remind me like in middle school, just listening to music on like Dat Piff and shit like that. Like
Bro,
the
for
album reminds me
real.
of like a mixtape almost, you know, because of DJ
Yeah.
Drama. And then obviously I'm happy that Tyler's actually like rapping, spitting bars and shit like that, and just think about like the evolution of Tyler from like Goblin to like Wolf to now to like this. I mean, Igor was like pretty out there, but now he's like kind of back rapping again. So I like it a lot. overall.
Yeah, I agree. It's
Eric,
it's
what you
interesting.
think?
I really fuck with this album. I feel like Tyler's been really consistent for me when it comes to all of his albums. I fucked with literally all of them. Goblin, Wolf,
Same.
I fucked with Cherry Bomb, even though it was out there.
I really didn't mess with that one too much.
I like Cherry Bomb. I really fucked with Cherry. Not every song on it, but I fucked with Cherry Bomb.
See,
I can say
Cherry
that-
Bomb. Oh my bad. I don't want to.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Cherry Bomb has like one of my favorite Tyler songs ever created.
Which one?
Smuckers with Kanye and Lil
Smuckers,
Wayne,
yeah.
'cause I feel like that's one of the
Smuckers
last.
was crazy.
It's a
That's like one of the
classic-ass
last good
song.
Kanye verses we got. Like honestly,
I
like
agree.
Bro, and
Yeah.
you remember when that dropped and at midnight
was
everybody
wild.
was listening to the album. Nobody knew what the features were.
Uh-huh.
And then like the original version with Smuckers, it was like, all right, it's just this. And then you fucking hear Kanye come in, and then the song gets and then Wayne's on, and it's
Oh,
like,
your
holy
boy.
shit, what
Watch
the
Wayne
the
fuck?
freaking
did a
beat.
legendary verse on that shit too.
Speaking
Like,
of Wayne be killing it on the Tyler features
Dude,
though.
he
Always,
really
always.
do. He kills the Tyler features.
Shout out to X
I-
Dub, man, because I know he happy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
and that's funny that you bring it
Um,
up because that Wayne feature on this song is probably my favorite song on this
Yeah.
current album, actually. So
hard.
yeah.
It's hard. As I was saying, Tyler's definitely been consistent for me. I fucked with all of his albums. I Igor definitely like resonated with me. I feel like I listened to that album more than any album that the year that dropped. I was only listening to that album.
Bro, same.
And then he dropped something that was like completely contrasted from that to like from like a really like I don't know how I would explain it, like a really like musical R&B-ish type album to a rapping album, like where he's like
Yeah,
bars only, really like bars only on this one.
that's just his
Um,
versatility, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's on some shit.
Kanye
Like
effect.
he's
He
also this nigga dropped the this nigga dropped the what's it called, the Alex, what'd you call it?
Oh, the Dirty Mac anthem.
The
Is that-
Dirty Mac anthem.
Oh,
This nigga
dude.
dropped the Dirty Mac
Oh my
anthem
God,
on
yeah.
Wilshire, where he
Yeah.
talks about trying to TYB. Tyler TYB.
Yeah, that was a wild song. It's kind
I,
of
I actually
is that
fucked
the
with
one that he was
song, not
talking
gonna front.
about? The dude had a girlfriend, but he could
Yes.
he
was
could bring
like-
the girlfriend too.
Yeah, and he was in love with
Yeah.
her. Yeah,
That shit's
interesting.
funny.
Interesting take we get here. And I feel like
Tyler's dope, man.
yeah, he really like, I guess he exercised. I don't know if this was like an agenda for him to like get out of the like because on Igor and Scumfuck Flower Boy, I feel like they were
Scumfuck?
heavily toward. Yeah, that's the name of it. That was like the full name of it. I think he just shortened it to Flower Boy, but the full name was like Scumfuck Flower Boy.
Interesting.
Yeah. I feel like those are like heavily rooted in his like attraction towards males, I guess, where he was like those are like his coming out albums, because Scumfuck is where he like came out, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And then Igor is about like
A
seemingly about like a man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this album, it seems like he's in love with a woman again. So he's kind of like emphasizing
And
his
I
like
noticed that too.
bisexuality.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And it goes into like what Frank said. Frank doesn't believe in labels for sexuality like that,
Right.
you know, because they asked if he was like bisexual, and he was like, you know, I've loved boys and I've loved girls, you know, and like it feels wrong to me to put like a label on just that sort of thing, like sexuality.
Yeah. Because if
know?
we're being honest, there are no labels. It's a spectrum.
It's a
Like,
it always is, yeah.
The labels is what fucks everything up, but let's not get into that tangent. But yeah, he does emphasize it. Like he in one of his
That's a
verses
double
on-
entendre.
Yeah, I think on Wilshire he talks about how he's not trying to like put everything, like he's not like public with his shit because he doesn't want to be put in boxes.
I feel him.
I think he mentions that in this song. But in this song, Wilshire, he talks about how he's in love with this girl who has a boyfriend, and I guess he's also friends with the dude. And he feels no remorse because he's in love with her, and he feels like because he's in love with her, then it's fine that he's doing dirt. And so is she. What are y'all thoughts on that?
Didn't she
Obviously-
leave her or leave him?
No, she didn't. She chose him. She chose the other guy, not Tyler.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler's in the wrong. I mean, if that's your homie's girl, I feel like you gotta respect that, regardless of how you feel about it.
100%.
Unless you have that conversation with your homie, which I don't think he did, based on the song.
Definitely did not.
Hey man, he's Tyler the Creator though.
I mean,
You really think
Tyler
he feel like he
Baudelaire.
need to-
that's like some arrogant shit. Like, I deserve you. Like,
well,
yeah.
that's kind of the shit that he was on this album, man.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Getting away from the sexuality and the Wilshire a little bit. You know, he definitely has his he's been kind of, even though this is a big kind of like a big departure from Igor, it in terms of aesthetics, it's along the same lines where Tyler's on his Wes Anderson shit. You know what I mean? With and he kind of always has been with like bright colors, and the cinematography of his music videos. And so his Tyler Baudelaire, you know, this dude in a Rolls Royce, traveling via train. It all paints like a picture that is sort of reminiscent of kind of the Flower Boy, because when you think about Flower Boy, you think of the French. There's a French archetype called the pansy, and Tyler the Creator is sort of, or not pansy, dandy, and Tyler the Creator is sort of this dandy archetype. Even throughout all of his albums, he's this dandy archetype where he's like a well-dressed. He's more crude than your traditional dandy, but you know, he's traveling by rail. He's traveling to begin with. He's in old French chateaus. So he continues to like put on this narrative, and dandies, you know, kind of are the people that made it sort of almost acceptable to hug the spectrum of sexuality, right? Where you, as a dandy, I mean, you're well dressed, you have effeminate you know, ways about you, and you know, fuck whoever you want, really. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I feel like that's kind of what Tyler has embodied in his last couple of albums, whether he's singing or if he's rapping his ass off on a mixtape.
And I feel like he's really been on like an arrogant tip for sure. Like
he has every right to be.
And he has every right to be.
Does.
Like he's always made his own fucking beats, which have always been on point, always. And he has bars. Like he's not just like some rappers are in their lane with their like, you know, singing type shit and whatever. But at the end of the day, if you're I feel like if you're a rapper, you should have bars minimum. You know what I mean? Like if I think of other rappers like who can I think of that I guess like shit, who can I think of?
I think it's important to be able to do both.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Tyler came about at the same time that 2 Chainz was saying 2 Chainz could be lyrical, but that's not what's hot right now. Tyler came about during that time. I think it's interesting to put it in the frame of mind that Griselda's big right now, and Griselda, like those dudes have been rapping, right? Like those are old heads, and they only rap. They only rap. And so I think as somebody who's navigating the hip hop space and someone who, Tyler's putting out music almost like Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these guys have been, and even though it's weird to say, but they're almost neck and neck because they're so prevalent in the hip hop space since 2011 or whenever Tyler dropped Goblin. You know, like they've been around, they've been big, they've sung, they've rapped, and they're still here. You know, they're still putting out shit. And I think that goes to like that. I feel like there's a formula that you could discern from between Drake and Tyler, where you can kind of try to figure out how to stay relevant in hip hop.
Right. What's interesting is, even though he's less popular and they both consistently put out good music, I would say Tyler is definitely he's like more like in tune with the roots of hip hop than Drake is. Like,
oh yeah,
obviously he writes his
more
own
of a traditional rapper than Drake.
Yeah. Like,
and Tyler loves music way more.
Yeah, he does. And you can tell because like I'm sure they both explored different styles or whatever. Of course Tyler's styles was his own shit that he came up with, and Drake is I don't want to say he completely just steals.
Tyler ain't really the first rapper to rap like this either, though.
He's not. No, I'm not saying that.
Well, and nobody, and none of these dudes are.
Nobody is.
Part of my point is that they know how to navigate this space for the last 10 plus years, where they can stay relevant. So if it's Drake, you know, having hip hop heavily inspired by Jamaican patois or English slang or whatever, like Drake will appropriate. And I think Tyler, you know, is in a different spectrum where he, you know, he's not.
It seems more
he's
like
not doing,
homage.
yeah, and I think Tyler knows how to do it because he is such a big fan of music. And like even with the DJ on this album, like Tyler had a live where he was like, yo, I've always been a big fan, like this is like a dream come true to have this homage to like mixtapes and shit from the old days, because it's like, yeah, man, like Tyler's been here, he's been listening to music like we have, you know what I mean? Like Tyler probably was listening to music through LimeWire. He was getting all the mixtapes from Dat Piff, especially if he was a Wayne fan. You know, he's been around for a minute. So I think Tyler, you know, out of Tyler and Drake, Tyler's love of music, and it's not just hip hop, because we know that Tyler loves so much other shit than just hip hop, and that's like one of the main things he's preached.
Like
and I also think, yeah, I think that's how Tyler has been able to sort of pay homage to various levels of music, not just hip hop, but jazz, rock and roll, metal, even, that Drake never has. And then Drake gets labeled, you know, like, you know, appropriately, that he is taking other people's shit, you know what I mean?
Right. And yeah, no, you're completely right. And Alex, you already touched on this, but the DJ drama, the DJ drama shit in this album was super nostalgic for me. Gangsta Grizzles. It definitely
Grizzles.
It definitely takes us back to us listening to mixtapes back in the day, getting them from fucking Dat Piff and having all those DJ tags, because what was interesting was the DJ tags was part of the music. Like,
yeah, for real.
It really was. Yeah.
I remember Kendrick did something like that with his album Damn. And I remember during his concert, I'm sure you remember this, Davon, because you were saying that we had fake albums or something. But during one of his songs, I can't remember the name of the song right now, but in the middle of the song, it's like, this is a world premiere, and like everybody in the crowd, like,
I done been through a whole lot, trial tribulation and a whole lot. Yeah, that's
Love.
I think it was Love. I think it was one of those songs, but like I remember everybody in the crowd being like, this is a world premiere, like when obviously that's a good point. Not a part of the song. It's like a DJ tag. But that DJ Blue. Yeah, and that brings us back to not only to Dat Piff mixtapes, but also to like when we were downloading shit off LimeWire and Kazaa and shit, and they would have those random ass tags in the fucking song.
DJ Who Kid, Who Kid, of all the Royce da 5'9".
Damn son, where'd you find this?
Well, and also like I mean, it's still a thing where there's these DJ tags. It's the producer tags. Like Mike Will made it. Mike Will. Who? What's his name? That's always doing the pianos.
Zaytoven.
Like it's interesting because the mixtapes and shit, the mixtape genre, the mixtape Dat Piff and shit, I feel like is a lot less prevalent now. You know 100%. What I mean? Oh, to have a mixtape is like, as an artist, you're not going to make any money because you're not going to pay to have. Yeah. and it's so interesting because now streaming's bigger than ever. But I mean, essentially back in the day when we were on Dat Piff and like Audio Leak and shit like that, we were streaming, but we were streaming projects by artists that had stuff that hadn't cleared, you know what I mean? And so they were rapping over
now
old
they're
beats.
making money off of it, so
and now they are, but now they have to pay for those, you know. And I think that's why we don't have any mixtapes anymore, because if you're gonna pay for a sample, you're gonna want to make money off of it. Whereas before it was sort of the wild west where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna just make a mix. I'm gonna rap over this beat, like the Millie beat. Everybody was rapping over the Millie beat. In a lot of Lil Wayne's production, like from the 2000s and shit, like everybody had a version of that on their mixtape. You know what I mean?
It's kind of frustrating because I feel like with them having that freedom, like putting out mixtapes was like pinnacle, or like putting out mixtapes was like essential if you were a rapper. If you were a rapper, you're putting out
Yeah.
mixtapes of some sort. And with that, we kind of got the most creativity out of it because they
I
could
agree.
use the beats that they wanted to. They could use the samples that they wanted to instead of having to get them cleared or buy them or whatever they had to do.
I want to
They-
counter that actually.
Go ahead.
Well, I think it did spark creativity for sure, but I think one reason why mixtapes died is obviously people want to make money. Off of
No, of course.
So, I kind of like the fact that people can actually put out projects and get paid for them rather than mixtapes, because people would just put out mixtapes on mixtapes. They spend all that money trying to record and like coming up with lyrics and shit like that, and then it's just like out there for free, So like I'm kind of happy that people, if they do put out a project, whether it be a mixtape or not, they can at least get paid off of it.
But
I mean,
also,
you're,
Alex,
you're
like,
definitely right about that.
these
Go ahead.
guys, I mean, they would get big off of they would get big off of just the hype around their version of a song. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't like name anyone off top, but the No Ceilings mixtape, I feel like did a lot for Wayne, because I only started listening to Wayne because of his No Ceilings series. I only started listening to Joe Budden through his Mood Music series. In fact, Mood Music for Joe Budden was bigger for me than his actual albums. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Mood Music, all of them were mixtapes, right?
Yeah, except for maybe the fourth one.
Except for maybe the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one might be an album.
And I think this was a time before social media was super big. So, we couldn't follow the day-to-day lives of an artist, but we could see that they put out a mixtape. We could go to Two Dope Boys, and Two Dope Boys would put it on their page, and they'd be like, yo, this mixtape is dope. Nicholas F. wouldn't even exist without mixtapes and battle raps. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because that nigga is a bum. He's a bum.
He is a bum.
Give me a fucking break.
Shouts out to Nicholas F. Though he greatest fucking bars and classic Yellow Golds. Who come on? Yeah, one of my favorite mixtapes of all time.
What's the one? Blue Milk, Chocolate Milk?
Or I was gonna say season premiere.
Season premiere? Come on, man. I was telling everybody you don't want to miss my season premiere.
Yeah.
There was a like in high school, there was a time where the only music that I did listen to was various mixtapes from like anybody from Slaughterhouse, Nicholas F., and then a bunch of like No Ceilings from Wayne and random other shit. I think Drake started to break the mold of like, he released a mixtape, and now his mixtape has been So Far Gone got like re-released as an album. You know what I mean? Like, I think we started to get away from this shit because we saw that mixtape streams being what they were, and knowing that we can get paid off of streams led to this idea that just clear the fucking clear the samples and drop that shit on a streaming service. That's the other thing. You can't stream mixtapes. Any mixtapes that you can stream now, the samples have been cleared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me know if y'all agree, but it seems like
I don't agree.
In replacement of mixtapes, we got SoundCloud. It's not as popular.
I don't think
I think it's kind of the same thing.
No.
It's kind of the same tool that mixtapes was. No, listen, it's kind of the same tool that mixtape was, because you knew about new artists through their mixtapes, and nowadays we know about new artists through their SoundCloud. Maybe it's more niche than mixtapes were. Yeah, I guess fucking TikTok. SoundCloud. I mean, yeah, I think SoundCloud might be a little more niche than mixtapes. Mixtapes was like anybody. I feel like SoundClouds are certain types of rappers.
So Eric, I mean, I don't even think it's certain types of rappers. I think SoundCloud was that bridge between artists making mixtapes and then artists only putting out projects. And then in that bridge is literally SoundCloud. I listened to Anderson .Paak back when he was making like really weird experimental shit with some dudes out of Canada. And that's like my first introduction to Anderson .Paak. And I remember being like, yo, this dude's got a really good voice. But it wasn't until years later that he was on the NWA soundtrack that he got big because he was working with Dr. Dre. I think SoundCloud definitely played a part in the progression between SoundCloud rappers to like album rappers. That's how Russ got big. That's how Anderson .Paak got a lot of his early following. There's a lot of SoundCloud rappers, but you don't hear about. I think there's a time from 2011 to 2015 where there would randomly be the phrase SoundCloud rappers dropped in anyone's album verse, right? But you don't see that as much now because since 2015 onward, you sort of have this rise of streaming anyways. You have Spotify, you have Apple Music, you have Tidal. So the idea of stream, and that's all I do now, right? I don't pay for any music anymore. I pay for a streaming. I have Apple One, and so I can stream all my music.
I still like physical albums.
I still buy certain albums.
And y'all are relics of a bygone era.
No, true. I still buy. Well, I don't buy physical albums, but I try to always support my favorite artists. Like I always buy Kendrick's album. I always buy Isaiah's album. I bought Tyler's album. I just try to support. I guess I try to just support my favorite artists. However I can, and I mean that's not much, but I mean whatever.
And,
like what am I
none
gonna
of
do?
it ends
Donate
up
money to
being
them?
much, like album sales go to the most with like getting money back to your artists.
Right.
I think there's been like a resurgence in what's it called? Vinyl. And so vinyl is like super big because hipsters have record players and listen to Damn on vinyl. That shit bumps, but it's not what you're gonna hear in the club,
I just heard Tribe Called Quest new album on vinyl, and
their album like from 3 months through 3 years ago, right? Like
okay. I can't remember the
album.
name of it, but yeah, they're late. That's what I meant. Their latest album, We Got It From Here.
That was good.
That's the name of it. It's
and
a great
album.
Good,
man.
Sounds amazing on
when that
vinyl.
Shit hit the club, man. That shit was tight.
Amazing.
Like going to a hip hop spot and hearing that, it's just like, yo, this is we come full circle almost.
And then you get like all the vintage like Busta Rhymes features and like just like
dude,
90 like type.
Dude, it's like they haven't missed a beat from the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it's like Q-Tip, and Q-Tip's always been around, and then all these other dudes.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of cool right now is because we are seeing a resurgence in like lyrical hip hop. So Busta Rhymes dropped his album, which was solid.
Amazing album.
Came out
I really fucked
an album that came out that was good.
That's a
Griselda.
Really,
like even
it's definitely been a resurgence.
It kind of started with I want to say Run the Jewels because Killer Mike has been around forever. Real big homies with Crooked Eye from Slaughterhouse. Real lyrical. And you had this idea that with Run the Jewels, you could put an old hip hop artist with a producer, create a duo, and create like hits that bump. You know what I mean? And so like Run the Jewels, I only became a fan of Run the Jewels because they played it at the club down in here in Denver. And then I was like, yo, Killer Mike, he's like from the fucking early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? And like
still kind of relevant.
I mean,
absolutely relevant. Not even just kind of.
I also want to give credit to like Jay-Z in that aspect too, because I mean Jay-Z is a rapper that's been around since the 90s, but he's been relevant since then as well. I mean, 100%. He dropping like really good albums like the 444 and then like I mean Magna Carta Holy Grail was all right, but I mean I think that goes to show that
it did numbers.
Yeah, I mean it did numbers, but like I don't know, it is what it is as far as like album goes, but like it shows that like these older rappers can still put out quality music and there is a lane for these type of rappers. And with Griselda being as popular they are, it seems like that lyrical stuff is kind of being like the more mainstream rap. At least maybe not like completely mainstream, but it is more popular than it's been like the last like 10 years for sure.
I think we're seeing larger detachment from like modern hip hop to pop. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who were sired by Drake's pop influences that are doing just pop right now. And I think that plays into not cutting into the hip hop aspect of things, so that hip hop artists are still making hip hop, but it's not as oversaturated. Because if people want to emulate Drake, they can go do that hip hop light shit over in the corner, while mainstream people, not even mainstream, but like people that can rap their ass off, like Griselda, get more prominence because they're occupying this space, you know? And
It
all you
makes
gotta
me-
do is go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to say, it makes me wonder if this resurgence of like, like I don't want to say old school because it's not exactly old school because it's been with our lifetime, and I wouldn't consider our lifetime old school just yet. But I'm
But it
curious
is
as to,
though.
I mean, sure, okay,
It is
I guess so.
considered that.
Lyrical rap.
Lyrical rap. Okay, yeah, lyrical rap. I wonder if the resurgence is due to our political climate, and
That has
us
something to
wanting
do
to.
with it.
You think it has? You think there's
I
like
like
a
that.
connect?
Maybe not
that it
like
has something to
100%, but I think it has a little bit to do with it for sure.
I think
I really like that idea.
I think blackness is becoming something to be. It's kind of like everything is resurging. Like, let me think of another
It
example.
just gives them a topic, I think. Something to say.
But
There is a topic
also-
because of the current political climate.
But also, I
Um,
want to say a lot of that stuff, like as far as like politics and blackness. I mean, there have been rappers in the past that kind of like touched on like those subjects, like Nas and stuff like that. So I mean,
100%.
But
It's like-
Gangstar before Nas, I mean, that's
yeah,
the roots of hip hop are rooted in the oppression
Exactly.
of
So-
black people.
yeah,
100%. And right now, as everyone knows, our political climate is that like
It's
kind of
tenuous.
it is 100%. Like we have Derek Chauvin finally getting like convicted on a plea deal. Did y'all know that it was a plea deal that he got
Yeah,
convicted
so
on?
at the least, I mean, he could serve 15 years and be released.
Yeah,
TK got 50 years,
50.
and he was dropping bangers while he was on the run. You telling me
true.
Derek
I'm
Chauvin?
little TK. I don't
fucking-
think you want no action.
Yo, Derek Chauvin
He dropped
went to
0
Florida.
bangers.
He dropped 0 bangers. Went down to Florida to vacation with his fucking crusty ass dad. Came back, got 22 years, 15 years with good behavior. Okay,
Yeah.
TK might have shanked a dude on his way to the East Coast, but are you kidding me?
He didn't drop the race though.
No, but
Derek
all
Chauvin did not
seriousness,
drop the race.
in all seriousness,
This is serious.
we're gonna preface this with fuck Derek Chauvin. He's
Oh, of course.
100% a bastard.
And rest in peace,
fuck
George.
Riley
Floyd as
Reed.
well.
Rest in peace,
Rest in peace,
George
Rest
Floyd.
in
Fuck
peace,
Chet
George
Hanks.
Floyd.
Fuck Riley Reed. But yeah, Derek Chauvin, he got convicted. He got 22 and a half years, which obviously he's probably not going to have to serve all of that.
Bro, he's gonna serve it like in the area where non-violent offenders go.
Of course, they
where
always
it's like
do.
it's not gonna be general pop. He's gonna have
course
good
not.
behavior. Dude's gonna be out in probably 15 years, if not
Right.
less. You know what I mean? TK, we're never gonna get a hit from him again.
Which
Yeah.
which in previous episode we talked about how Juneteenth was them throwing us a bone. I feel like this might be another instance of that. Like he literally he was a police officer and he knelt on a man's neck until he was deceased. And I feel like it doesn't get any more diabolical than that. Like you're supposed to be upholding the law, yet you're murdering black citizens. I feel like truthfully, I feel like
That's
police
what they
officers.
do.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
that
they
is what
do.
they do. But I'm saying I feel like police officers, because they have this duty to uphold the law, they should be held in. They should be held at a higher standard.
But they
Literally,
aren't,
should get
though.
a higher
Yeah, you
higher
would think,
punishment.
Bro, do you know
Right.
the amount of money that goes into police unions? Like police unions get a shit ton of money. They recycled the same lawyers throughout the entire country. The same lawyer will go from one instance of a black dude dying to the next. Also, police have a thing where if you can't specifically recall an instance of a police officer being convicted of a certain offense, then they can't they can't go to jail for this offense because it's a first time thing and they have nothing to go off of for this current one. So that's the main thing from the 90s, from the beginning of, the police turning from militia into police. This is a main thing that they cannot be convicted of. And so it's a fucked up system all around. And then also the fact of the matter is there's a lot of money that goes to police getting warrior training. And warrior training is sort of this idea that there's a rotating conference throughout the United States where police officers can attend and they can get money to attend. And the warrior conferences essentially teach police officers to use the highest level of physical violence possible. And it's fucking insane, man. And like this shit's not ending anytime soon, especially with Biden, fucking allocating so many resources towards.
Biden really don't give a fuck about us.
No, he doesn't. I mean, go ahead.
Hey, man,
Say,
I
do you
thought
guys
y'all
think
was
that-
happy with Biden, bro.
No. Don't mistake
I
it.
said he was the
Don't
lesser of
mistake
two
it.
evils.
The lesser of two
Listen,
evils, 100%.
I'm happy
I've
Trump
never
is
fucked with
gone.
Biden.
Like, I'm happy Trump is going, but like, fuck Biden. Like,
Has
he's
it
like,
really
Trump,
changed?
I've
Don't
been
it still
tr-
feel like Trump is still in office?
I would say
No.
yes. I would
I
say
don't
it
think
has
so.
changed.
man. All right,
I
so
would
if
say
we're
it
getting-
has. Go ahead.
If we're getting into like big political changes, I don't think Biden was a super large step in the direction that we wanted. I think Biden was the right step in the direction that we wanted, but it was a shuffle in the right direction that we wanted,
Hey,
right?
man, niggas was out on the street celebrating.
No, I wasn't celebrating Biden. I
victory.
voted for Biden, but the people who Biden will listen to, the people who I had hoped would be in Biden's ear are the ones that I'm more concerned with. Biden is the first stepping stone in a long line of stepping stones in the direction of what I imagine a more harmonic United States of America for Black people. If I had voted for Trump, it would have been a Republican vote. Trump would have incited more chaos. I honestly don't think that Trump had our best interests in mind. I also think that there's a lot more posturing in the liberal side of things where, as Malcolm X said, a fox will smile at you, but will still be a predator. I think that there are more people of color on the Democratic side of things that can help get more things done at a more micro level than a macro level. And that's what's more important to me currently.
Agreed. My thing is, Devon,
vote for Marcus Flowers in Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. But the thing is, we don't live in a democracy. This is not a democracy. And I don't know if it ever has been, but I know right now it's not. We don't really get a choice. We don't get to choose like, oh, this is my favorite candidate. He aligns with all of my political views and policies. No, we get two choices. We get the people who
Democrats
we know don't
or
fuck
Republicans,
with us, and the people who
say they fuck with us for their own gain.
The people who say they fuck with us in order to get our votes, and we have to choose one of those. And there's more who are just.
There's more people of color on the side with the people who say they fuck with us. They might not actually fuck with us either. I work with a bunch of liberal teachers, and I will be the first to tell you that a bunch of white teachers together are a racist gaggle of individuals.
Yeah.
That being said, we have to take baby steps, honestly. Like unfortunately we can't take any drastic step in any direction. Right. We have to take what victories we can and sort of try to come out on top at the end of that so that we can continue to perpetuate this cycle of people of color becoming people in power. That's the most important thing.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say I agree with you in the aspect of taking the small victories, because like you said, this isn't gonna be an overnight change. Because that racism is instilled in these people their entire lives, and it's not going to be like an easy just like flush out with like a new politician or anything like that. So while I wish Derek Chauvin did get more time, I am happy that he at least got convicted. You know, at the end of the day,
Exactly. Yeah.
Same.
we've seen so
Unfortunately,
many times where like people, like cops, would just get
got
off
off.
scot free, like George Zimmerman still walking
George
around
Zimmerman
like that.
still.
And that shit makes me sick. You know, I mean, at least he is.
Bro, George Zimmerman still, period, man.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
He
Like,
lives
that
in
shit-
Florida, and you're telling me none of these niggas have taken the step to fucking off this motherfucker, man?
This man's still walking around.
He
Still
literally made money in
speaking.
prison because he was painting pictures and auctioning off memorabilia from him killing Trayvon Martin. That shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, that shit is sick, dude.
Don't let me
R.I.P.
go down to
Trayvon.
Florida. R.I.P. Trayvon Martin, man.
R.I.P. Trayvon. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Tamir Rice.
George Floyd. R.I.P. Tamir
R.I.P.
Rice, for
George
sure.
Floyd. R.I.P. everyone else, man. It's a
Yeah.
long list of names. I could fucking
Sandra
say them
Bland.
until my voice is.
Breonna Taylor.
Don't get me started with Sandra
Mhm.
Bland. R.I.P. Breonna Taylor, man.
Alex, you're 100% right, bro. We unfortunately do have to take these little victories because we're in a we live in a country where we won't get
It's
what we
built off
want.
racism. Like, there's
It's
no
built
easy way
off
to break that
racism.
shit. Like, America was
It-
built off
it's-
racism
It's not only built off racism, it continues to function
and
off
profits
racism.
off of it. Like, currently, yeah.
Exactly. And it's never it's
That's why
seemingly
hip hop
never
is the
ending.
biggest threat to all of that.
It is truly.
Hip hop is
It's
a
our
pure
biggest
vein
weapon.
of blackness that can be used to combat. Like, all right, everybody. Kendrick has bangers. Kendrick is
Right.
also fucking woke as hell and will say it how it needs to be said.
And
Hip hop is our
Kendrick-
biggest. Go ahead.
I'll say Kendrick has a big audience too. So I like
Yeah.
what Marcus is saying, because I mean, his music, while he talks about like black issues, will reach these like white kids that listen to
Everyone.
music as well. Like, yeah, everyone.
The
So I
thing
mean,
is,
yeah, just put it on a bigger scale.
the thing is, hip hop is our biggest weapon because hip hop controls the culture, and whatever controls the culture controls everything. Essentially, if it was used correctly, I feel like it could be because, like, think about how
There's no way to use it correctly because it ultimately
There's-
it's run by record labels who
that's true.
will be like, yo, this is, they stagnate the amount of stuff that gets put out, but the fact that Kendrick is big as a lyrical artist, as an artist who speaks on the black experience in America, they can't
True.
stop that. They can't, because they know that Kendrick's gonna make money, and at the same time, Kendrick's gonna be speaking about some real ass shit. So
I
they
agree.
can't stop that. You know what I mean?
I
Like all
agree.
this shit, this helps. In what is it? Is it Damn's the album, but what's the song of Kendrick's that has a sample? It has a sample from Fox News where they're like, hip hop has led to an increase in
What
DNA.
song
You know what I
is
mean?
that? DNA.
DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like,
So-
oh, I don't like it.
Well, no,
When
they're
they killed
like,
dead in the
hip
street
hop
faux
is like-
show.
and then
Is that
they're
what
like,
you're
hip
talking
hop
about?
has, and then at the end, but like before, like Kendrick absolutely goes in on a minimal ass beat, there's like a Fox News sample where they're like, hip hop incites violence in the black community, blah 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 blah, and then it's like, no, the fuck it doesn't. It's an account, you know what I mean? And then Kendrick goes in on the beat. And that's one of the
Mhm.
the most important tracks of our generation because it shows Kendrick's side and it also shows the opposition side where they're using hip hop as a device to say that black people are overtly violent and acclimated to crime when that's not the case. When there's people like us who have done very little crime and we fucking prosper. You know what I mean? We're not in jail.
Exactly. And you know what? We beat a dead horse and we'll continue to beat a dead horse. Shit's not how it's supposed to be. And
Talk about horses. You know what place doesn't have horses? Kepler 22B.
I was going to transition. I had a transit. I was getting there, but Yeah,
Cheers.
Kepler 22B. Let's get
I
into
can't wait to hear
RBW.
Davon. I want to hear what Davon's thoughts are. on this
Yeah, I saw
episode.
your tweet. Okay, let me start it out. Uh, we're about to get into episode 5 of the HBO Max sci-fi series Raised by Wolves.
That shit was fire.
Raised by wolves.
Let's get our first impressions in. Marcus, first impressions.
episode 5.
Episode 5.
Raised by wolves.
Raised by.
It was a good episode. I like this episode.
Okay.
At exposition, but at a first-hand account, I can fuck with it.
All right. Alex, what you think, bro?
I really like this episode. This is probably like one of my favorite ones since the very first episode. Just like kind of like we got a lot of context into a lot of questions that we had regarding like Mother's
Yeah.
creation and some of the things going on the planet. So I really enjoyed this episode.
Context is always good. Day?
I enjoyed it as well. I thought it was
Okay.
dope. We get to see origins of Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Important.
Bitch was in love.
Man, pray for father. Pray for father.
Huh?
I said pray for father.
Right.
My boy is down bad right now.
Nah, man. Y'all leave father alone.
I
No,
don't know
Eric.
what's going on with him though. He feeling inferior to this
Man.
white
Yeah.
man.
Eric, what was your first impressions, big dog? Shit, man. Thanks for asking, bro. I fucked with this episode heavily. It has everything you want. Everything. Solid as episode from the beginning to the end, truly. I guess getting into it, we start out with I think the beginning was we see that there's a person on the planet and he has the kids trackers
Mhm.
and it seems like he's like monitoring the camp, and it raises tons of questions like, is this person
He found them.
Yeah.
I don't know what they plan to do with it though.
right?
You ain't got the
Like-
technology to see where they are. I don't even know if you know what they are.
I
Yeah.
mean, we don't know honestly because we don't even know what that was, who that was. That,
Exactly.
like,
We don't even know if
grabbed
it was
They were
human.
really good at parkour.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think it's human necessarily just by the way it was like moving and stuff like that. But obviously, it has some sort of like capacity to like I don't know.
To draw
Human-like.
a map.
Yeah, to draw a
very
map of,
human
like,
like.
Yeah. So one of the things that I thought when I watched this episode is like, I wonder if that thing is the same thing that they're like eating, like that monster they found in like the tunnel
Yeah.
or whatever.
Maybe
Oh,
like a more
developed
a
one.
more
advanced-
evolved version of that. Because I mean, we haven't seen much life on this planet at all up to this point.
Right.
So that's kind of where my brain went initially when I saw this. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts.
the same way we're still here, and also other species of apes are still here, like chimpanzees and whatnot.
Dumbass apes.
Yeah, dumb apes, stupid fucking apes. It seems like
Stupid
he
fucking
certainly could
apes.
be a more advanced species of whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah,
They
man.
seem to be primate like, as in they're are they bipedal or do they
Nah,
walk on
man.
all fours?
Looks like
They're more quadrupedal just because
this person
they
this person was
crawl
bipedal.
around. Well,
The guy
person-
that we saw was bipedal.
right, but what they've hunted
I'm gonna take this
and
call real
made
quick.
fucking bomb ass brisket out of was a someone that crawled on all fours, right? So they killed the
Right.
one that they caught in the grain silo,
Mhm.
and then Campion observed one in one of the mysterious holes, harvesting moss that was also crawling on all fours.
Fungus. That's what they call it.
yeah.
What do they call it?
They call it the
A
fungus.
fungus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the fungus.
Oh yeah, they found a new sustainable food,
That boy trying to stay vegan for real.
bro. Oh
Can't-
my God.
by any
Fucking
means,
Campion,
Campion,
bro.
dude. Jesus
Campion's
Christ.
weak ass man.
I don't want to eat it. Hey, bro. At the beginning of the episode, when that little girl was like, which part's the baby? Like, what the fuck are you on, little
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
These
That was
kids
pretty
is
wild.
crazy, yo.
Because they come from privilege. They don't know that shit's cruel to eat a child, eat a baby. But also we eat babies, man.
Yeah,
That's what veal is.
I mean, veal. Yeah, I mean, I've
if
never
you
eaten
want
veal.
if you want good tender meat, look to the fucking babies of a animal.
I'll never eat veal.
Or humans.
We see
I'll eat
Marcus.
veal. I won't eat humans. You see
We
me?
see Marcus,
You see
aka
me
Caleb, acting
the
as
field.
the new chaplain.
Yeah, shout out to
Soaking
Caleb,
it in.
dude.
Shout out
Shout
to
out to
He's
Caleb.
reveling in it.
He's
He's
becoming-
reveling in it.
He's becoming a
Little
cult
prissy,
leader.
little prissy myth
Oh my
grade.
god.
Yo, he's got groupies. He's got Cassia.
got
You know, Cassia with the wandering eye. She's like,
She kind
if
of
there's
bad.
anything else that you might need, and he's like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean?
I'll slide on her. Like, what's up? Like, you know, the mistress, she sleep right now.
Oh God.
Yo, Caleb got a woman, man. Y'all need to chill.
Hey, what that mean?
They
Yeah.
on a different
Oh,
planet.
hey,
though.
Tell you,
Yeah, like,
hey, Davon,
Eric, talk about
exactly.
it.
You on a different
Eric,
planet.
fuck that shit. This is a
Exactly.
different planet. It don't matter no more. Different rules.
Yo,
apply.
come on, bro. You
Y'all
know
have
the
never sided
rules.
with Eric before. And
You
shut
know
the fuck
the
up, every
rules.
last one
Hey,
of y'all,
Earth
man.
rules don't
That's
matter on
not the
Kepler.
rules.
Hey, Marcus
They're
changed
not
my
on
opinion on
Earth.
that. Honestly, the way
Marcus,
he
here's the
Marcus-
thing, bro.
Marcus he landed on Kepler 22b, booed up.
Nah, bro. If
It,
they
so
was
it
married,
counts. It counts.
if they was married, all that shit ended as soon as they landed on Kepler
They got
Right.
22.
plastic
Marriage
surgery
license
together. It might
don't
as well.
exist
It
no
might
more.
as
As soon as
well.
they
ended
left
it.
Earth, all that
Earth.
shit went out the window.
When they
The
left Earth,
marriage
that shit
license
was up and
blown up.
right.
Man, don't let me catch y'all in the apocalypse, man. That's
No,
all I'm
but
saying.
like real shit, like that scene where Marcus was talking to like that Otho dude, like I think that's his name, to do with the
Yeah,
metal.
they did find Otho.
the rapist.
I
Yeah,
stated
rapist.
in a previous episode that Mother killed him, but I guess she didn't. I guess
No.
He didn't.
kind of buried the
definitely
lead
He's
on
still
that.
alive.
he's still alive. He has a metal fucking
Hey,
spiked
man.
plate helmet around
Why
his
the-
head.
So
Why
I
the
wanted
fuck
to talk
is?
about.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say like I thought that scene was really interesting. I guess the two interactions that Marcus had with Otho, where he's like, "Oh, Soul told me to rape these kids or whatever," and I thought that was like the wildest shit. So then I was like, "Wait,
This
is
is the
Soul
part I
like?"
wanted to speak on.
I feel like
Okay.
there was something more to that. I feel like
feel
he
like-
wasn't just like on bullshit. It seems
Oh, no, I
like they're
believe him.
probably leading to. Yeah.
Because I mean, like one thing is that Otho's like, "Yeah, I used to mess with little kids prior to me even hear Saul's voice," and we know Marcus has always been kind of like a grimy dude. So is this Soul like?
What, that's what he
This-
said?
Yeah, he
I
said.
don't remember him saying that.
No, he said he
Well-
used to mess with, like. He said I had no reservation of messing with girls prior to me meeting Soul or something like that.
Soul,
something along
yeah.
those lines.
So-
So
It does bring up an interesting point because as the viewer, we know that Caleb, aka Marcus, had received certain auditorial transmissions into his head that prompted him
Saul.
to do things like push the dude the leader prior to him up against the rock, and then the
Mhm.
rock ignited him. And I think Caleb, aka Marcus, finds that, I guess, pretty fucking evocative because he doesn't kill him right away.
mhm.
And I would like to think that Caleb at this point is a man of pretty strict moral boundaries, you know? Like
Yeah.
he was kind of a scavenger atheist before this, but he also like fell in love with their son, you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
their main mission is to save their son, which isn't
Their
even
mission,
his
yeah.
blood, but like, you know, he spent all this time with their kid. He wants to save that kid. So I want to say that he has a good reason for keeping this rapist. I just have a hard time.
So they won't get exploded.
I
by
don't
the
know.
Yeah,
necromancer?
I don't know, but I have a hard
He's
time.
the one carrying the weapon up front that's supposed to kill her.
True, because
I truly don't understand why he's keeping Otho. I don't
just
get it.
bait.
It-
think it's
I don't
strictly-
either, but I
it's
think it is
strictly-
his faith.
He
I don't think
bait.
it's bait. No, I don't think it's bait. I think it has something to do with him saying that Soul talked to him because
No,
Marcus.
I think
Yeah.
he's bait.
But
for the
I
necromancer.
think it's that too, because I think
Mm.
that Caleb, aka Marcus, has heard Soul And the only other person who has heard Soul to this
Otho.
point is this rapist guy. And I guess that's more compelling. I guess that's more compelling to keep him alive than to kill him.
My only thing with that is he didn't know that the rapist heard the voice before he like saved his life, because they were like jumping him initially, and he's like, stop, like he's a rapist, yada yada. And then I forgot what excuse he gave for like keeping him alive, but at that point he didn't know that he heard that voice.
Well, no, they were just beating the shit out of. Okay, so they were beating the shit out of him, and then he was like, "Stop beating the shit out of this person." He didn't know he was a rapist at that point, and then they were like, "Oh, he raped, several people," and then he said, "Soul told me to." So it all happened at the same. Point? It all happened at the same time. Yeah, it was all.
Oh,
in the same,
okay.
Yeah.
So I know he said it again, like when he's like praying by himself. He's like, Soul
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That was a different time.
Gotcha.
And there was also the time where he was like, "So why won't you speak to me again?" Which I feel like maybe drove the nail home for Marcus. Like, okay, so probably really did speak to this man, because he seems like his only motive at this point is what the fuck Soul wants. And I feel
he also said his reason to keep him around was for
cannon fodder. He called him cannon fodder. So right before
Devon, I can't hear you, bro. He's talking. Devon's talking. I can't hear him.
No, he paused.
I think he's not paused. He's disconnecting.
Devon, are you there?
Don't leave us.
I am.
Oh, I think he said that to cover himself, because remember when he told his girlfriend that, it was just the earwig. He's trying to cover his own tracks with him, actually, because she was saying something like, you're becoming like a believer.
Religious.
No. Yeah. She said something like that, but I'm getting that mixed up with father saying that mother is becoming a believer.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of,
I still think he don't cares about him that much, though.
Well, I mean, possibly. That's obviously
that's why they gave him the weapon, I think, and had him out up front walking.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that.
They found the weapon before they found him. They needed somebody to carry the weapon. They were out of androids. I feel like it would make sense that Athos, or whatever the fuck his name was,
Otho,
would carry the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
At least initially, as cannon fodder, as Caleb / Marcus says. And then maybe Caleb / Marcus found that there was more use in Athos because of the fact that he had heard the voice of Soul in his head.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares.
We'll see.
But
we will see.
I do want to speak. We did get introduced to a new android, another black one.
Oh yeah, another black.
That nigga's name is Leash.
Oh my god!
Talk about it.
They fucking
talk about it. Talk your shit, man.
Leash tried to make that shit into an acronym, like it made it.
Are you
better.
fucking kidding me?
I just look at everything through a racial lens sometimes. So
I mean, understandably so.
But honestly, like everything is through a racial lens, anyways.
There's a crazy amount of fucking black serve bots. So
Father, Leash,
the two that
fucking one that died,
the twins
that died, yeah,
the one
man,
that got shot.
Yeah, Marcus, yeah.
Man.
And everybody else seems to be white except for that old boy's from camp, that dickhead.
Yeah, of course the one non-white.
But let us find out that he's a fucking android too. Some fucking turn of the coin.
Oh my god.
Yo.
I'm gonna be right back, y'all.
Big twist incoming.
But yeah, what did y'all how do you feel about the dialogue between mother and father? Like it seems like mother is getting pretty fed up with father's inadequacies. Is that the right word? Or his limitations, I guess.
Well, father just can't, like time after time, father is tasked with sort of remedial tasks and he fails. He was supposed to kill the monster and he decided that the kids should kill it, but the kids all fucking couldn't do it until Tempest did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think time after time, father is faced with his own inadequacies because his programming requires him to teach the children to fend for themselves, whereas mom is more of like a matronly instinct where she's trying to protect everyone and trying to make sure that everyone's okay. Father's like, the kids have to learn how to hunt, they have to learn how to fend for themselves, you know what I mean? And so we're at this like crossroads where like father is constantly pushed up against either the kids' morals or mother's matronly instinct. You know what I mean?
I think father is needed though, because he's teaching them, like you said, more survival
Well,
skills.
and
getting
as we
them
saw,
father
further.
is needed.
he was teaching them how to sling them rocks. You know what I mean? Like that's a start.
Father is mother's in the wrong because she's too motherly. She feels like she needs to keep mothering them, even though she knows that they won't last. Like she
Mother's a
won't last.
monster.
Right. The kids need to fend for themselves, but she wants to do everything for them. And I guess we realize why she's like that because of all the exposition we get on her. We get a lot of backstory
Oh,
on
yeah.
Mother. We see her get electrocuted by the dude who created her. And
And
then
not just
he
electrocuted. It
Champion.
seems like it's an
Champion, Champion.
the original
Yeah,
Campion,
EMP for sure.
Champion
You know that.
Sturgis.
EMP gun, insurgent,
I
He
want to.
EMPs her.
Oh, go
father
ahead.
of the atheists.
So the first time I watched the show, I didn't
Former
catch that.
Mithraic. Sorry.
Oh no, you good. I was gonna say the first time I watched the show,
Former
I didn't-
Mithraic.
yeah, I didn't catch that
Important.
part, and that just hits harder.
It
And it
does.
kind of makes sense that we talked about, like how can like an atheist reprogram the necromancers, but I mean, if he comes from that family, then he would have that knowledge to know how to do that. So
We did have that question, like, what the fuck? But we see him. So okay, so we're skipping a part. Mother sees Tally this time. So pretty much Campion, father, and mother have all seen Tally.
And
Mother
Paul.
follows Paul.
the little boy that fell.
Oh
in the
yeah,
hole-
yeah. Paul does see Tally. Wait, Campion doesn't. Never mind. Not Campion. They all see Tally running away. I don't know if she's like an apparition. I don't know if there's anything more to that. This planet's so weird. This planet seems like there's obviously a lot more to it than what we are seeing.
I'm
and
saying, man, like I said on the last pod, I think it's like Mithraics versus atheists versus Kepler 22b.
Mhm.
Yeah,
More than anything,
And
it seems
for
like
sure.
that's like it's a big moving factor for both sides.
for sure. So we see mother chasing after Tally, and Tally basically leading her to the simulation pod, which she went into last episode
Mhm.
to see that the kids killed the fetuses. But this time we go back to when she was created. We see Campion working on her and running tests on her. We see her with the baby, what she thinks is a real baby, and because he's like, running a test on her, and she ends up snapping the baby's neck when she learns that it's like a refugee
That was
for
wild.
the atheist.
That
Wild
shit
as
was
fuck.
wild.
Wild
That
as
shit
fuck.
was wild.
Did not know that it was a fucking android. Threw me off. I was like, no, she did not just snap this baby.
Did you cry, Eric, as a father?
No, I did not. As a father, didn't affect me
You didn't.
Why do
any
these
differently.
androids have so many emotions though? She was
of
feeling
them.
love real strong.
I think that's
Well,
just
I think
how-
he programmed her like
yeah, I was
that.
gonna say I think he programmed her like that to
Did he?
be motherly. Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed like because when she snapped the android, he's like, "Oh, we need to do some more tests." Yada yada yada. So I'm assuming he reprogrammed her so she's a little bit more caring and emotional.
It seems like he definitely led her in that direction of to be over caring, and I think in that she ended up falling in love with him.
As I
They
would.
fell in love
as
with each
well.
other. Like they fell in love with each other.
Well, they fell in love with each other. Yeah, you're right. Campion's kind of on. I don't know, man. That's kind of strange to me. But I mean,
Campion's on his vegan shit. It's not that strange. We got vegans modern day.
I guess so. I mean, I guess so.
You say it in the English accent.
What?
I don't want to kill. Say that shit in the English accent.
What?
Say that shit, Eric.
Tally.
No.
Tally.
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 Say it. I don't want to kill.
No, we're moving on.
Was that a Mithraic ship too that he had?
The one that he sent her and father off of on?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Mithraic or not.
What was Campion on? He was tearing them Mithraics up.
He was. I
He
mean,
got they androids in his ship.
hey, yeah, I guess we'll. I mean, hopefully we get some more like background on like Campion at this point, because like why he like left his family and like started siding with the atheists. Like I'm sure there's some like background to that. That I want.
Yeah, because he was from a well-to-do
Yeah.
Mithraic family. They said, yeah.
So
I feel like this is just going to be a mirror kind of Paul and Campion. So Campion is raised right now as atheist, and I think he'll be or become a leader of the Mithraics, and Paul will ended up being one of the leaders of the atheists.
Oh,
I can see that. I can see that happening.
That would be
actually
a
see that
crazy switch up.
I can definitely see that happening. That'd be interesting.
Because don't they always like the Mithraics are always talking about like the chosen boy or something like that? That was like an orphan or something like that. So
that founded
I mean,
their city or whatever.
See, now that Davon said that, I wonder if like what we're seeing now. No, wait, there's no way that this could be like the past, and like we're watching like this entire thing's like a flashback.
Well, because
like
no, the Mithraics already have that shit written
Yeah.
down. Like they talk about it in their text as like the chosen. I can't even remember. It's like the chosen whatever Messiah, basically, that founds the future city that the Mithraic civilization is built upon.
Interesting.
And I feel like Campion is kind of starting to become Mithraic a little bit.
He's definitely leaning
He
towards
has-
that for
he has
sure.
from
He's
the
shown
beginning,
so
'cause-
many signs of it.
He'd just be praying for no reason, like an idiot.
Literally, he was praying to nothing before he even met the Mithraics.
No, he was praying to the potatoes because the potatoes, is what
potatoes,
he's
yeah.
ate. Yeah.
I also
Like a-
think that
Like a fucking dumbass.
I was gonna say because Champion seems pretty easily.
You don't see
influenced.
me. You don't see me praying to pizza.
You don't pray
What's up,
before you-
Alex?
Campion a bitch.
Alex, what are you saying, bro?
I don't even remember.
Shit.
Biggest bitch this side of Kepler 22b.
Hey, you taking Campion or Mark from Invincible? Who you rolling with?
Mark.
Mark.
Easily.
Mark 100%.
Yo.
Mark
Yo.
100%. Oh my God, here we go.
Yo, we gotta review The Boys because I take what's his name off of The Boys? The main character?
Homelander?
No, man.
Oh, the main,
main
I don't know
character
that
from
name.
The
I don't know
Boys.
his name. I don't
I
know
know
his
who you're
name.
talking about. The one with no powers.
Yeah, I take that.
I don't know
nigga
his
over
name.
Everybody.
His name.
Who's the dude from One Punch Man? That Moomin Rider.
Moomin Rider, yeah.
That's what I'm taking.
Oh my
Shouts
god.
out Moomin Rider.
For
Who's that
real.
nigga from Naruto, man? Or Boruto?
Which person?
Harishima? Moving
Konohamaru?
on, man.
Are you talking
Moving
about
on.
Konohamaru?
No, I'm not.
Hey,
What are you talking about?
But yeah,
I got something else to bring up too.
What's up?
When Campion was working on Mother and all that, it reminded me of Ex Machina
Yeah.
in the Turing test or whatever it's called. You
Oh,
think
yeah.
she would pass it?
Yes.
Yeah, easily.
Easily. He fell in love with her. And I think
think
that's kind of a testament of
what?
how go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I've seen Ex Machina, but I've only seen it.
Hey,
I don't remember what happens exactly.
She gets out at the end. She
So
basically
basically-
He like
and she's
falls in love
part
with
of
a
General
robot.
Pop
Then the robot like locks him into like the
in
facility,
the
right?
facility. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So the Turing test is basically if you're able to interact with an AI and not know that it's an AI. So you interact with it like daily or however long it takes. And if you can't figure out that it's an AI, or if you can't really discern humanity from artificial intelligence, then it passes the Turing test. And I
Ye-
think Mother would 100% pass the Turing test.
Absolutely. Also, you know what? I don't know if she would because because like sure this show takes place in the far future and Ex Machina takes place within our own time. The Turing test is such. I mean, the main character in Ex Machina didn't know that like the equivalent of Mark Zuckerberg, his assistant, he didn't know that she was a robot. You know what I
Yes, he
mean?
did.
Not right away. He thought that she was just his assistant. And then when they started dancing in tandem with each other, he sort of like put it together that I can't even remember her name. It was some Japanese name. He kind
On
of like
on
put it to
on Ex Machina.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was like another
He-
robot,
he-
wasn't it?
there was two robots. Like the main
He
girl
Oh,
thought
I
was
see
the
what
one
you
that he
mean.
was
real girl.
yeah, but he also
right,
didn't
yeah.
know he also didn't know that the main assistant with I think her name was Yumiko. He didn't know that Yumiko was
Was
a
also an
robot
AI.
until the scene that they were doing the disco dance together.
What a
Yeah.
wild scene.
I no, but I think that like plays in testament to the part that the fact of the matter that as humans we'd like to think that we would know what AI looks like and how to discern robot from man, but I also don't think we would be able to tell, you know what I mean? And like in Ex Machina, he had literally made the robot android whatever based on what he liked in women and his like porn choices and shit like that because it was like the most deceptive way to inform him that there's a robot there. So I mean we're dealing with two separate types of science fiction. I think Ex Machina was high science fiction and this movie was probably a lower science fiction.
I got another thing. So
What's
I guess closing the show or when the show was ending, was she humming a Mithraic melody?
I
Also
also had
wondered
that same. I
Yeah.
had that same
I don't
question.
know.
Cause
Are you talking about Mother at the end?
yeah,
Mother, yeah.
I didn't catch
Because
that.
it wasn't somebody was looking at her real weird. It might have been
I
father.
know that whoever it was, but also at the same time, it would kind of make sense that she was humming a Mithraic tune,
Yeah,
seeing as
because she
Campion
unlocked
was
Campion.
formerly Mithraic,
Yeah.
I mean, she
And I think-
technically was too.
and
I
she's
mean,
also
Yeah.
a necromancer.
yeah.
Well, and I
It's-
think Caleb was singing it or humming it too, though.
Yeah.
I think that's what you got it
Was
from.
it the same? Was it the same tune that they hummed when they were hunting atheists?
It's hard to say because it's an opposite
I'm gonna have to look into
group.
that.
You know, it's like with the Mithraic group, it's two atheists in the midst of a Mithraic group, and in the other, it's a Mithraic group in the midst of atheists. So we don't necessarily know, but maybe that comparison can be drawn that it's a Mithraic hymn or whatever song that she's humming.
Very
Um,
possibly.
She's kind of it's like she's almost believing in a religion too, with how she's saying her creator and all
Mhm.
of that.
And maybe Campion didn't do that good of a job with deleting all of her Mithraic programming.
Or she just sprung.
I don't know. She really don't
I'm
sound like
sprung.
an atheist too much anymore.
Not anymore.
To
But
get
she's
me, got
father
me
mentioned that.
doing things I never do.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it
Father
up too.
father mentioned that when he was saying you're starting to sound like a believer, and she discerns that she's not a believer. She's not acting off faith. She knows that her creator is real, and it's not like she's
Sounds
just
like any other religious person.
no, not it's a little bit. I do agree that it sounds like it, but it is a little bit different with her knowing for a fact that her creator was real. She saw it. You know, she
And maybe
literally-
maybe that's
I
what
mean,
makes her
religious
into...
people say that same thing.
Exactly.
I mean, but
and
I
that's
guess,
what's interesting
yeah.
is because Mother actually knows her honest creator, and her creator must have taken out her memories of him creating her because of this exact reason, is because it sort of creates a faith so that she has faith in Campion. She knew what her creator's name was because she named Campion that 8 years ago,
Yeah.
but she hasn't had recollection of that creator in the time since. And so in a sense, father and mother were going off the faith that they were created by this man named Campion without any actual recollection of a man named Campion. But now that mother, who has disobeyed the laws of a Mithraic ship, has gone back and seen how she was created, how could she not be religious? How could she not worship this man named Campion who has reprogrammed her into who she is today?
But I will say
I
before,
don't know what. I don't know.
I will say before, that's the pod, y'all. It's been
That's
a
the
podcast
pod.
formerly known
Chaos
as Tapped
Pod
In.
time. Chaos Pod.
Chaos Pod. Invite all the homies.
Is we done?
Ratings, Marcus.
Wait. Before we go to, nobody gave like their favorite fucking song on the Tyler album.
Tyler
Y'all just
album?
talked about something else completely.
Oh, I gave mine. I said that Lil Wayne song.
That was your favorite?
Yeah. I like Juggernaut too with Lil Uzi and Pharrell. Or no, wait.
Juggernaut was fire. I like Corso the most. I think he was really on his shit on that one. I really fucked with it.
I liked the Lumberjack.
Lumberjack was fire.
I liked
Rolls-Royce pull
Manifesto
up.
because
Manifesto was hard.
I really fuck with Domo Genesis, and when I heard
too.
Domo Genesis on the album, I literally got fucking goosebumps.
I was hyped
because-
for that shit.
And then DJ Drama was like, Odd Future. And I was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Because Tyler hasn't had any Odd Future fucking features for years. So Domo Genesis being the first in like 6-7 years is like fucking nuts to me because I was a big Odd
He
Future
had a
fan.
song with Frank
Which is
Ocean.
wild.
He
Which is
did,
wild.
but Frank Ocean almost to me doesn't count because Frank Ocean was a musician before Odd Future, whereas the rest of Odd Future were musicians because of Odd Future, like the Internet, Domo Genesis, Haji Beats, Earl Sweatshirt,
Left
like
Brain.
all of these. Left Brain, but Left Brain is part of fucking the Internet.
So you only count people who had like I don't know, their first act with music.
Basically, people who were on
Tyler.
because of Tyler.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
and also like Tyler and Domo Genesis, their lyrical skill and like rapping capabilities grew together. Like you could literally see from the OF Tape 1 to OF Tape 2 that there was like almost a drastic increase in their ability to rap between those projects, because Domo Genesis started rapping his ass off on Wolf, and Tyler started rapping his ass off on OF Tape 2. Yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah. Great album. Amazing show we're watching. I love it all. We're doing great things
We'll see
here.
our Raised by Wolves rating.
Marcus, what was your rating, broski?
I'm gonna do my first 8 for this episode for this season. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my first 8. It was an 8. It was solid. Lots
Solid.
of good exposition. It was good to see the past tense of Mother, to see how she went from killing machine to matronly figure, and then obviously being confused by the juxtaposition of the two lives. And also Campion, continues to be a bitch, finding algae, finding what mushrooms or whatever the fuck, fungi growing on the side of the holes. I think there's more. I think there's more to those holes than we give them credit for, as with all holes.
Them
Hey, man.
hoes, bro.
If you think he a bitch
Yeah.
now, wait till the next episode.
Oh my God, Alex, I don't want to.
All right. My bad.
Alex, what was your rating, broski?
I'll probably give this one like an 8.5. I mean, like I said, this is probably like my favorite episode since the very first one. While there wasn't a bunch of action, just like all the backstory we got and context as far as like Mother, like I really like the scene where she went back in time and kind of met her creator. And I kind of like the way they like panned it out. Like they had Tally lead her to the ship,
Yeah.
which eventually led to her figure out who her creator was. So we got some questions answered, but still like a lot more questions going forward as well. But
Like,
yeah.
is Tally tangible?
Or did
Because
like
everybody's picked up the doll.
Or
at
did
this
like
point.
Caleb create Tally to bring him to her, or not Caleb, Campion.
Champion. I got one more thing to comment on before we finish this out. When Mother woke up, Campion
Was the one
woke
who
her up.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, do y'all think that Campion is like his like consciousness is living somewhere inside of Mother?
No.
No? Am I reaching?
Yes, yes.
You think
Because
so?
there's no other reason why Campion, the creator, would tell her to wake up. She's in danger or whatever the fuck or the kids are in danger.
Yeah.
Other
Because
than the
that was
fact
like-
that maybe he like pre-programmed that somehow. And I think that adds to part of like the mystery, but I do agree with you, Eric.
I guess we'll find out in the coming episodes for sure. Davon, rating.
Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
No.
You're a little
Wait,
slow,
Eric,
but
what
go
did you
ahead.
give it?
Can Davon give his rating first?
Well, you just
I'm
talking for a
at it.
long time.
I'll give it an 8.5 though.
Got you.
I like what's going on with Marcus and stuff, how he's handling his new position. I think that old lady, she kind of knows or is smart enough to know that that's not the original Marcus.
But she's too scared to say anything because he's heard the voice of Soul.
Well, and she
Right,
knows better
right.
than to say anything at this point,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, because they all following him now. And then I do wanna
Meanwhile,
bring-
Cassia just a fucking trifling ass hoe.
I do want to bring up that sex scene though. That was
The
weird.
hallucination.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
So was that like Soul telling him to kill his wife or what?
I
And see,
don't know.
that's one
Because he
thing I was
saw
wondering.
Otho in there too.
Yeah.
That whole thing is weird because it establishes the fact that both humans and androids trip balls on Kepler 22b.
It's that magnetic field, probably.
Must be.
Alex, you have something to say, bro?
Or the tropical zone.
Yeah, I guess like during that hallucination while he's having sex with this girl or whatever, and he's like stabbing her up, it made me think like, is Soul, maybe he's not like a god, maybe it's like a evil spirit or something, like because
Or maybe he's just a
Oh.
dude with a microphone.
Maybe
Like us.
Soul doesn't like women.
that, yeah,
Possibly.
exactly. I mean, 'cause those are kind of my thoughts. Because like, why else would Soul be telling him to do all these like tell Otho to do these devious things, and like, why would he be having that flashback of
Soul-
him killing his wife?
Soul's a real douchebag.
And like it, like what are the Mithraic really praying to? Or like, do they know what they're praying to? These are like the questions that I have.
And then
Um,
again, is Soul what they think it is?
I
Like
don't
they
think,
it's a god, but is he or they what they think it is?
no.
It could be something completely different. It could be just like a being, just like a being that lives on Kepler 22 or something like that. I don't know. Well, I mean, again, we'll figure it out as
And
the.
one,
I might have
one
to watch
last-
an episode tonight.
Oh God!
I already watched like
God.
episode 7 because this. I mean, honestly, when I watched it the first time, this is where I got like hooked on like episode 5. I just kind of like binged it
It's
from
wild, bro.
like it started getting and it gets even crazier. It just keeps getting crazier like as the episodes go on. So like, and the
I'm
season
also-
finale is nuts.
I'm also really excited to talk about Loki.
I need to watch that too.
I'm also really excited to talk about Loki.
Man, I'm gonna miss that pod, dog.
Oh my God! Did you watch the episode?
No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah, I think you'd like it, Alex. My rating, I give this an 8.5 as well. Like I said before at the top of the podcast, solid episode. I really fuck with the pacing of this show. It's perfect. It's not too slow. It's not too fast. It's literally going the way it's going, like, so at such a good rate to where I'm not like overwhelmed by exposition or overwhelmed by even action or anything. Like it's just going at such a good rate where I can keep up with the story and stay excited and stay in tune and all that shit. And I fuck with it. 8.5. But yeah, that's
Alex,
the
what
pod,
did you
y'all.
give it?
I gave it 8.5, I believe.
Oh wow, we all gave it
8.5s, yeah, all around the board. That's the pod. Y'all can catch me at PG the Villain on Twitter, at it's underscore me underscore dad underscore on Instagram. Catch Omega Marcuses on Instagram and Twitter. Right? Okay.
And TikTok now.
And
Eric, you
TikTok.
followed me
Catch
on
him
TikTok
I
today.
did. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm breaking into the TikTok space. I'm trying to get more people on Patreon. So follow me on TikTok, Omega
Follow him on
Marcuses.
TikTok too, yeah.
I'm thinking about like posting some TikToks, like some fashion shit, or like the
You
crazy
should.
Yeah.
No, you should. What do you got to lose? Nothing. Follow
my dignity.
Men's Luber at Men's
Yeah,
Luberdom on Twitter.
data.
At
Yeah.
Alex the OG.
Don't
on-
follow me on nothing.
Okay. We got Cocaine Shotty across all platforms. Follow us at Tapped In
Follow
Pod
me
on
on
Twitter.
Tinder.
Follow that nigga on Tinder. Get it.
Hey,
Get
follow
this
me on-
nigga some bitches, yo.
Follow me on
Yo.
BLK.
Follow-
BLK.
Follow Davon on Tinder, man. Like
Follow me on Christian Mingle.
he's
Ladies,
a real
don't
stand-up
fuck me out.
dude, man.
Follow me on Christian Mingle.
And
I'm
he's
just trying to
tall.
meet a nice Christian gal.
And he tall as fuck. Davon,
He like
tell me
tall
about
as
how tall
fuck.
you are.
He's 6'9".
I'm not that tall.
Hey, they don't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
He's
yeah,
being
yeah.
modest. He's 6'8".
I-
Okay.
Follow the Omega Bazaar. Follow Idol Vital. Follow.
She not on this pod.
I'm just trying to shout yo
Just
fucking
Hey,
family
follow
shit
off
out.
Shout out to the
Like,
Murray
I don't
clan.
know.
Shout out to
the Murray
Nathan
clan.
underscore Murray on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Shout
For
out
all your
to-
ceramics
shout out to,
needs.
Infinite Loop.
Yeah.
Not a,
Shout out to Nate.Assad at Instagram.
Shout out to Mark.
Shout out to Mark McGaw.
Shout out to Black Sky
shout out
Entertainment
to
on
shout out to Kendrick
Instagram.
Slade.
And shout out to Matt as well. Matt, Xavier, all the homies from high school.
Shout out to X Dub. Shout out to
Yeah,
XC.
XC, Marshall,
Gangsta
Shout out to Fredsky.
Glasses.
Yama.
Shout out to Fredsky.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to Yama. Yama F. Nefarious Yam.
all the
Face,
homies.
all the homies.
Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Alyssa
shout out-
Mora.
Shout out to
Who
God.
Hey, free TK.
Free
Free
TK.
TK.
That's the pod, y'all. Tap in on the next one.